I wish people would stop with this "a boy needs a man in the house" as if presence is just some magical fixture. It's crazy that the internet has tricked you all to think that all of these emotionally stunted men have come from single mother homes. I don't believe that's the case. I think we're blaming visibility over impact. I believe a lot of these men had fathers in the house. And if the father wasn't emotional astute, he's going to study the most consistent emotional source in him. Because nature feels emotional silence with whatever voice is the loudest. But let me give you perspective. A lot of what we're seeing in society today can't just be traced back to the household. Human nature has shown us over time we often become what we resent. When men grow up feeling emotionally rejected or isolated by women, they don't just resent it, they internalize it. And over time, they start to reflect the very thing they once couldn't stand. Not because they admire it, but because the nervous system learns to mimic what was once a threat to gain control over it. So now we have a society full of men who are seeking control because they never had any over themselves.
What he said in the beginning was so accurate. The whole first part of it, though, how like the men don't like when people be like, a man can't raise a woman can't raise a man and all that stupid stuff, right? All of that stuff, how he was getting on it. Yes, that was right. The end I disagree with. I don't think that's what's going on. I think men grow up to mimic destructive men because those men they see are powerful men in media. They're powerful men in their life. You know what I mean? Like police are extremely chauvinistic and misogynistic. Football coaches, basketball coaches, athletes, actors, like extremely misogynistic men are winning in the eyes of these little boys, and they end up mimicking those men, right? The power of the patriarchy ultimately is too powerful, and the little boys succumb to it. I don't think that it's because women reject them. You're blaming women for a problem that men created. If anything, they want to mimic the man because they were rejected by their fathers, not by the women. The fathers reject them. Women are far less likely to reject men than men are to reject men. More fathers reject their sons than mothers reject their sons. So blaming it on women and blaming it on the rejection of the woman that the woman has done or a girl has done, it's diabolical. You're a part of the problem. You started off so strong and you ended up so wrong. It was crazy. But essentially, what I like overall though is just this idea that he's addressing, which is women can't raise men. I love talking about this idea because it's so hilarious to me. But the reason why women can't raise men is because of the patriarchy. It's because we don't leave women the fuck alone. It's like saying women can't work blue collar jobs or women don't work blue collar jobs. And then ignoring the fact that the reason that is because men have historically locked women out of these jobs. And then even when they couldn't do it politically, they couldn't do it, legally, and they had to allow women in, they said, okay, cool. Even if we have a quota, we're just gonna make these women so uncomfortable that they're gonna quit. And they're gonna tell all their homegirls and all the women in their lives, yeah, don't ever work construction because the men on those sites are terrible. And then they end up working for you, right? The women end up doing your job for you. So that's the reality. It's not that women can't raise little boys. It's that the patriarchy won't leave little boys alone. And the patriarchy has its tentacles in every single house via TV, via history books, via music, via art, whatever the case may be, right? Via other men in the community. The reason why women can't raise little boys into men, right? Why they can't raise little boys into men is because men tell little boys that a woman can't raise you. Men tell little boys, society, quote unquote, society, aka men, tells little boys, you can't be inspired by a woman. You can't learn from a woman, even though women are the most inspirational beings on the planet. To me, as a human, you can't learn from a woman.
Honestly, if I'm being honest, It was a Beyonce show that I went to. This is y'all want to be honest.
Yeah.
I went to a Beyonce show and I watched her perform. And I watched all the costumes that she changed, and I watched all the dances that she had, and I watched. This is maybe 2013 or something. And when I saw her perform, I walked away and I said, "I'm not working hard enough at my craft." And I was just like, "I need to work harder because what she's doing is insane."
So Bobby Wagner was inspired to work harder at football by Beyonce.
For sure.
Now, imagine being a little boy. Imagine being an adolescent child. Imagine being 15, 16, 17. And you're not having these conversations with your friends. First and foremost, you're not. Right? Because little boys don't talk like this with their friends. But let's just say it did come up. These are grown adult men. Ryan Clark has shown that he has a high level of emotional intelligence. Even Ryan Clark laughed at this. RC chuckled. I expect Channing Crowder to laugh at it. He's a fucking idiot. But RC is like to me like the most aware one, astute one on the show. And he laughed at it. Fred Taylor laughed at it. They all chuckled. Beyonce, yeah. Of all the people to be inspired by, fucking Beyonce would be at the top of the. I don't care if you don't like Beyonce music. I don't care if you don't like Beyonce, her. I don't give a fuck. That woman works hard. Hard. You don't become her. You don't put on the show. Watch her do the Super Bowl. Like we all watch the Super Bowl. That right there, that was it ain't like I needed that to know that Beyonce worked hard. I'm saying like when I saw Beyonce perform at the Super Bowl, because I'm historic, you know what I'm saying? I was both an athlete and an artist. I saw it from both angles, but I was like, golly. Same thing with Kendrick. You watch Kendrick Lamar's halftime show. I don't care if you didn't like it. You're weird if you didn't like it, but I don't care if you didn't like you. You cannot walk away from that going, God damn, how long did it take for him to choreograph all of this? To do it so effortlessly. When I watch Beyonce, to do the thing she does so effortlessly, I know the level of dedication to the craft it takes. I know the amount of hours. I understand it. If anybody has ever tried to be great at anything, you understand that. I'm not understanding why men just like it's not that I don't understand. Men tell other men that you cannot like women. That is why you can't be raised by a woman as a man. Even though our mother's raised, I don't care if your daddy in the house with you, your mother's raised you 99% of the fucking time. But that is why. That's why, right there. That's a prime example of why little boys cannot be raised by women, because you will never give a woman the credit. You will never give a woman the credit. As soon as a little boy acknowledges that his mama is his greatest hero, as soon as a little boy says, "Oh, I learned this from, Whitney Houston. I learned I wanted to be better because I kept listening to fucking Whitney and I was like, man, I got a long ways to go." The greatest, people say the greatest female vocalist. No. Whitney Houston is the greatest vocalist of all time. My book. In my humble opinion, I think Whitney Houston is the greatest singer. And I'll even take it a step further. The greatest singers of all time, the top two greatest singers in my mind and in my heart. Number one is Whitney Houston. Number two is Mariah Carey. Number three, Luther Vandross. In my mind, number four, Aretha Franklin. Them my top four vocalists, male or female. You can be inspired by when you should be inspired by women. They're human beings. I don't like this is crazy. This is crazy. You listen to men, you listen to what men say about women, and there's of course, women can't raise little boys. Of course, right? If you listen to men talk about women, of course they can. It's because of you.
3 grown men laughed because a grown man, a football player, said witnessing Beyonce do her thing at the top of the top, the cream of the crop, showing all that discipline right there in our faces, it inspired him to be as disciplined as he could be and go harder in his field. And y'all laughed and sound shocked, like y'all don't know, y'all know Beyonce's Beyonce. So why, as men, is it laughable? Is it because it's a woman and women are supposed to be weak compared to men?
That's exactly why. That's exactly why. And here's the other thing. Men know they be stealing everything from women. Men know that. Tupac said we got our name from a woman, got our game from a woman. Why do we blame our women? Right? Men already know you got all that shit from a woman, but then we give the credit to a man. And that's why men love when men are in the home with a child. Like if a man and a woman is in the home, they'll give the credit to the man. If the little boy turns like, oh yeah, he must have had a great daddy. No. If that baby turned out good, more than likely it's in spite of his father, because his father is passing down his terrible fucking misogyny. Usually.
Men are supposed to be less than, or is a man not supposed to take inspiration from a woman? A very successful woman? A woman who's more successful than all of y'all sitting right there in that room? A woman who has proven for decades that she is the best? He's not allowed to take inspiration from somebody who has been the best for this long and is still being the best and go, hey, I need to go harder so I can be the best.
Bobby Wagner played linebacker in the NFL. Beyonce is the Lawrence Taylor, the greatest defensive football player ever. Beyonce is the Lawrence Taylor of female artists. She's like the greatest, as far as I know. I'm pretty sure she's the greatest, female artist of all time. I can't think of another woman. I can think of women that are great and were great, but they're not Beyonce. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, and Bobby Wagner is like, he's on the list. You know what I'm saying? Like, because he just said that Beyonce is better than at her craft than they are at theirs. Yeah, all those dudes were really, really good. And Bobby Wagner is he was a great linebacker in the NFL for many years. He's probably, if you had to rank him, he's probably top 10 linebackers of all time, 10, 12 linebackers of all time. Beyonce is not top 12 female artists of all time. She top 2 and she ain't number 2. You know what I'm saying? That's like what that is. So of the cream of the crop, she's the cream of the cream of the crop. Right? And these motherfuckers is laughing. RC definitely he wasn't the greatest cornerback ever. He never was the best cornerback in the NFL. And Channing Crowder was never the best DN in the NFL. Defensive lineman in the NFL. I think that's what he played, DN. Fred Taylor, also never the best running back in the NFL. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy, like, to laugh at a person that is greater than you at their craft. Like, they're the greatest at what they do. Beyonce is literally the greatest. She is Michael Jackson, and then it's Beyonce. Like, let's be fucking for real. You know what I'm saying? Mike in a different stratosphere than everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Mike is ungodly. Like, Mike is out of this world. Like, I don't even like comparing Mike to anybody. But you got Michael Jackson, and then you got Beyonce, and then you got everybody else. That's what I'm saying. You got Michael Jackson, you got Beyonce, and everybody else, man or woman, falls below them. Like, and these motherfuckers are like, you got inspiration from her? Yeah, motherfucker. Yes. What the hell? What the fuck?
I could be the best because she's a woman. That could be the only reason y'all laughing. And that mentality right there is why some people will never give Beyonce her credit. While some men, and it's not just men, because a lot of women uphold that misogynistic mentality too, because they have fully adopted it. But that right there is why I feel like we live in a world where Beyonce does not get bigger than a Michael Jackson. And no, I'm not saying that is the sole reason, but I'm saying even if you set Beyonce and Michael right next to each other and lined everything up and everything equaled out, like they were completely equal across the board, Michael would still, like Beyonce would just never surpass simply because she's a woman and the world will not let that happen. The crazy thing is, had he said he went to a Chris Brown show and that inspired him to go harder, they wouldn't have batted an eye because that's a man. And it's like, what? Y'all are attaching things.
Chris Brown ain't Beyonce. Chris Brown ain't Beyonce. I'm sorry. I ain't sorry. Chris Brown is not Beyonce. Chris Brown, as an artist, as a performer, he's great. He's one of the great top. Chris Brown top 20 performers. Yeah, like all time, yeah, top 20. Top 15 in the last 20. Fuck it, let's not even go all time. Last 20 years, Chris Brown is top 5 probably performers in last 20 years, right? Since he came in the game. Yeah, absolutely. He ain't fucking Beyonce. He ain't Beyonce. But to his point, if he would have said CB, if he said Chris Brown, they would have been like, oh yeah, I mean, yeah, it's Chris Brown.
To this clearly in y'all head that because it's making y'all laugh. What y'all are hearing is he saw Beyonce and he wants to do what Beyonce is doing, like wearing the type of outfits and doing the type of like feminine dances Beyonce is doing. That's what's making y'all laugh because y'all brains immediately visualized him being Beyonce, going
That's homophobia
on stage like Beyonce when he like as full blown adults. It should have been easy to understand. And it could have been a moment for y'all to give props to another successful black person, let alone a successful black woman. But y'all laughed at it as if to laugh at the legacy of Beyonce at that. Like I'm not laughing at that. Like that's Beyonce, bro. Like why would I even laugh at that? Like as a black person, period, in America.
I literally wouldn't have even thought to laugh at it. To his point, like why? Like that wouldn't even laughter would. Nothing funny about that would have popped in my head. You know what I'm saying? But instantly in my head, I'd have been like, oh, yeah, no, that's like bet. Hey, Beyonce, oh, no, yeah, bet. No, yeah, I understand that. Like, you know what's funny? If you said Jay-Z, I'd have been like, Jay-Z? Like, and I think Jay-Z is awesome, right? Like, as a rapper, I think Jay-Z is one of the best rappers of all time. But if he said that, like, man, I really was like, I got to work on my craft after I went to a Jay-Z concert, I'd have been like, really? Jay-Z? I definitely would have questioned you about that. Like, what's so great about a Jay-Z concert? I've seen Jay-Z perform. He's not the greatest performer.
Period. Beyonce's success, it's an honor to witness. So to like, all in all, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, he's right. I 100% agree with that young man. He was 100% spot on. But that's essentially, though, in a nutshell, that is why men just don't. That's why you can't raise a man. That's why women can't raise men because of that, because of these thoughts, because of that, right? That was perfect. And now imagine that in every single, form of media, in every single classroom, in every single home, in every single community. Imagine that. How do you overcome that as a woman? How do you overcome that? A mother, I'm saying, raising a child. How do you beat that? That's damn near impossible to beat. That is damn near impossible to beat without the presence of a man, like backing that shit up. You know what I'm saying? Like I've told you guys a million times. Like I tell my son unprovoked all the time how good his mother is. Like I tell him all the time how good his mother is. Like you need to listen to your mom, not only because that's your mom, but your mom specifically. Even if she wasn't your mom is fucking awesome. And here's why. And I run off her resume. She don't got to do it.